8:56 exactly, news and views on Salam Media. And next we're going to be talking with political analyst Levi Ndau. And we are going to be unpacking, or rather do a follow-up on an interview I had yesterday with Karl Niehaus, ANC, and obviously he has started a new movement. Let's find out what Levi's analysis is on this situation. Levi, very good morning to you. Thank you indeed once again for your time. Welcome to the show.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the listeners at home. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so the story goes as follows. Karl Niehaus was my guest yesterday. According to him, he has resigned from the ANC. He has pointed fingers at the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa and his government, suggesting that they are totally corrupt. And the fact that promises made right at the beginning of the new dispensation have not been kept. Things are getting from bad to worse, and RET has still not been introduced. He has started a new movement. It is not a political party, but he does want to fire up the interest and the call for a rapid economic transformation. I'm kind of wondering, will this stance of his in any way be a threat to the ANC? Because we do know that as it is, the ANC is deeply divided. On the one hand, you have those supporting RET in a very, very big way. And on the other hand, we have Cyril Ramaphosa, who has a very softly approach to any and every crisis or situation in the country. I don't know if he's a deep thinker. I don't know if he's just very wary. I don't know if he needs to first discuss issues and to engage with a whole lot of experts before he comes and responds to any emergency or issue that we are plagued with in the country. So your thoughts on this deep divide and Karl Niehaus's new movement, which is very, very pro-RET?
Well, I think one must appreciate the fact that democracy in South Africa is taking a very good shape, in the sense that people are actually exercising their democratic rights by forming organizations, by forming movements, and by becoming active citizens. And I think that is what we should all appreciate and boost that our democracy is indeed quite alive. But the departure of Karl Niehaus from the ANC did not come as a surprise. He is part of those who never accepted the leadership of Ramaphosa in the ANC. The radical economic transformation is part of the ANC's policies. It is what those who have been given responsibility to lead, even before 2017, should have actually implemented if they saw it to be something quite urgent to be implemented. It will always be relevant for formations to be formed based on a particular political articulation, like radical economic transformation, as Karl Niehaus is actually doing. I think it's good for democracy. Good luck for Karl Niehaus, and of course, this might not always be looked at in a negative light. It might also be a good force to remind the ANC about economic transformation, which appears to be urgent in the minds of many South Africans.
What do you believe radical economic transformation is going to look like, or how should it be rolled out? Given, and this was the same question I put to Karl Niehaus yesterday as well, given that there's large-scale corruption in all sectors of government, business, and the country as a whole?
Well, it's my question exactly that I would have expected Karl Niehaus and others to have been at the forefront of fighting against corruption, not only now, because corruption did not only start now in South Africa. We've been having corruption and corrupt activities for quite some time. And I would love to see the strategy that they might employ, or Karl Niehaus and them, in terms of the fight against corruption and the people that they identify to be corrupt. Because my view is that when you fight against corruption, you don't have to be selective. You fight corruption at all levels, whether someone is your friend or your enemy, corruption becomes corruption. So it will be interesting to see the people that they identify as corrupt and those that they would not say anything about their corrupt activities. So good luck to Karl Niehaus. I think you'll get a lot of support, especially when you talk about the fight against corruption and indeed economic transformation, which is quite needed by all of us in South Africa.
It's a huge task, is it not? These politicians talk about quick fixes, and we know that this is not going to happen overnight. In the meantime, we are sitting on a ticking time bomb with the unemployment rate being probably the highest in the world. What do you believe would be the right moves to be made by the politicians like your Karl Niehauses, like the ANC, knowing that there's a deep fracture in the ANC as well? And adding to that is, all right, please respond to that and I'll give you my next question.
Well, I think it will require a lot of energy and zeal and determination to ensure that you create a situation where the perceptions and actions against corruption or about corruption are actually eradicated. Also creating an environment that attracts investors to come and do business with us in South Africa, and also ensuring that those that are seen to be corrupt or having participated in corrupt activities are actually brought to book. And that is one thing that Karl Niehaus has to focus on if he will really need to be supported by many people.
Okay, post the elective conference, it hasn't happened yet. It is the first week in the new year. Undoubtedly, it's going to be happening soon. Fikile Mbulula is making a lot of noises about it, and that is a cabinet reshuffle. We also know that Lindiwe Sisulu is very pro-RET, and in a sense, the EFF as well, very, very pro-RET. How do you see this playing out now at the beginning of the new year? And in your mind, as a political analyst, how do you want to see radical transformation, radical economic transformation being implemented, knowing that we have a couple of role players here? You have Karl Niehaus's camp, you have Lindiwe Sisulu, and you also have the EFF, all blowing the same trumpet.
There is a difference between sloganeering and actual change that you should make to the people of South Africa. The slogan about RET has been there, and there are individuals that we know to be associated with RET. Some of them, as I've indicated earlier, have been given responsibilities in government. One would have expected them to do much better in relation to that RET force. Talking about RET as a slogan and implementing it are two different things. Using RET as a factional tool and not implementing it is another. So you need people who must bring tangible things at the fore and say, this is the plan that we have to radically transform our economy. We have not seen that happening. And especially when you are in the ANC, maybe you should talk less about RET, but actually do more about economic transformation. And unfortunately, that does not appear to be the case. It is actually ending only in the slogan.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. It's all talk and no action, while the fat cats get fatter through corruption and bribery. Levi Ndau, political analyst, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for being with us on the show this morning.
You're always welcome. Thank you so much.
Salam Media abides by a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code of conduct, we're committed to give news